Sweet children, in order to claim a high status, always be honest with the true father. If you make a mistake, what do you do first? Let me tell you.
Tell the father right away.
Yeah, more than just tell.
Be honest with the father. Make a plan.
That's required, but before you can do all that,
Ask for forgiveness.
that's like intellect. Ask the Father for forgiveness. Why do you have to ask Baba forgiveness? He's the ocean of forgiveness. He will always forgive you.
You have to initiate.
Why? Why do you have to initiate?
I'm just showing that you
Humility.
your mistake.
Humility, and two, the recognition of your mistake.
Yeah.
So you're communicating to Baba, not only did I make a mistake, but I realize the sorrow that that mistake has given others as well as myself. And so by asking Baba for forgiveness, even though he's going to give it to you anyway, the humility to ask makes you a little bit more contrite about your mistake, which is honest and
Straightforward.
genuinely remorseful. Now, of course, I tell you, when you really have an honest relationship with Baba, you don't need to feel bad for the Father to know you're going to change. You just have to change. But this point is probably for those who really say sorry but have really no deep intention to change. I mean, they don't make the plan. If you make the plan and change, that's good enough for Baba. But very few of you really can do that. So that's why you should be humble and ask Baba for his forgiveness. It keeps your relationship with Baba more real. Don't follow manmat. Question: which especially loved children can never remain hidden? Answer: the serviceable children who love God's family. I tell you, you got to love the new Baba, you got to love yourself, you got to love the whole world, you know, the golden age new world, and you have to love God's family, Brahmin family. Those who are concerned to do service day and night. That is motivated from those loves: love for Baba, love for yourself, love for the new world, love for the Brahmin family. Those who are concerned to do service day and night, and those who are serviceable. Okay. So that's just what it takes to surrender. You're not karmati, you're just surrender. Dedicated is your life is all for Baba. But serviceable is your surrendered trustee. Those who are serviceable, obedient, and faithful, and never allow manmat. And never follow manmat, and who have honest hearts. They have love for the family and they remove their honesty. So, and are true to the Father, can never remain hidden. Some, this is genuinely true. You can feel it in their vibration, in the words, the way they present. Others, you can still sense that ego is still there. The vibration of the purity of what they're saying isn't quite matching. Inconsistency in the things they say or between what they say and what they do. These are the signs of lack of honesty, ultimately, which prevents the experience of truly loving the family. Song: you are mother and you are the father. Om Shanti. What does this song guarantee? The children give a guarantee to the mother and father, uppercase, Baba, I have you alone and none other. This is such a high destination just to have Baba alone and none other. It's guaranteed for anyone who follows the Srimad of such an elevated father that he will definitely claim a high inheritance. However, the intellect feels that the destination is very high. This is why only a handful of multi-millions become the beads of the rosary. It is said, you are the mother and the father, uppercase. But Maya is so powerful that hardly anyone is able to follow that guarantee. Each one of you can ask yourself, do I truly belong to the mother and father? That's like, you were saying, oh yeah, we're all surrendered. No, that's not true. And that's because you don't all fully belong to the mother and father. Father says, no, there are very few of you. This is why you can see just how many beads of the rosary there are out of multi-millions. There is a rosary of victory of just 8. Some say one thing and do something else. This is why the Father says, look at this wonder. Baba explains with so much love, but there are very few children who are worthy, those who are beads of the rosary. Children don't have that much strength to follow Srimad. Children, that's probably in general, that means the majority don't either believe they have the strength or don't want to immerse the strength to follow through. Therefore, they're definitely following Rabbi. This is why they're unable to claim such a high status. It's only a few rare ones who become the beads of the rosary. Such special beloved children cannot remain hidden. So I would take that in context of 16108 are the beads of victory. They remain seated in Baba's heart. Their only concern day and night is
Service.
to do service. They love all of God's family. Because of that love, they do service with so much joy, it gives them so much happiness, right? Because it brings them in, they remember who they're doing it for. And this is why they get happiness from doing so much service. Their intellects are not pulled outside anymore. You have to have such love for the Divine Family. On the path of ignorance, too, children have a lot of love for their father, brothers, and sisters, have a lot of love for each other. Here, some don't even have the slightest yoga with the father. Here, in Raj Yoga, BKs, don't have even the slightest yoga with the father. Many give a guarantee, and they still sing this on the path of devotion. You are my mother, you're my father. You give that strong promise, vow, but scarcely if you really do it. You children are now personally in front of the Father. I mean, for that, you truly have to feel that Baba was your mother and father. And if Shiv Baba was your mother and father, then
No other mother.
you don't have a Lokik mother and father. You have brother souls playing a part there, and you have to play the game. But there should be no feeling or thought in your mind emotionally to consider them your mother and father. I know that's hard for most people. Otherwise, how do you make that consistent with one Baba and none other? One Baba, mother and father, and 2 others. It doesn't work. See, nobody puts all the points together. That's why they think they're following Srimad, but they're not. You children are now personally in front of the Father. Just think about it. Whatever people sing on the path of devotion, they remember God with so much love. It's one of the things I felt very grateful to Baba for was I finally found my father. I really felt that in my heart. Finally, the father I could love and respect and follow and trust. Because I didn't have a father I could feel that for. I stopped feeling he was my father even before he left the body. Right? But I didn't have a father for all those years until I came into Canada. Here they don't remember him. When you belong to Baba, Maya becomes your enemy and your intellects are pulled outside. So Maya makes you fall very hard when you let your intellect get pulled outside. They don't understand that what they themselves do will actually make them fall. They don't realize that. They just do it in ignorance, unconscious. Due to following Manmat, they continue to fall. They're not aware of what they're doing at all. Some children have weaknesses. They say one thing and do another. It's a sign of weakness. Due to following their own dictates, they continue to fall. They are not aware of what they are doing at all. Some children have weaknesses. They say one thing and do another. Otherwise, they could receive such an elevated inheritance from the Father. What causes you to say one thing and do another? What's that the sign of?
You have to be 2 identities.
Okay, you're getting warmer. What is the root of having two identities?
The acquired layers.
The split mind and head. Or
Your
head and heart.
intellect and mind must not be together. That is actually dishonest. Your head separated from your heart is not honest. Everything else becomes dishonest. So intellectualizing something, dishonest. Feeling, dishonest. They both have to be equally balanced for there to be honesty. Okay? Why are they not balanced? Not because your intellect doesn't work, because you don't live in a consciousness consistently of having pure feelings. So lack of pure feelings is why you don't give equal status, standing, respect to your mind. However, mind is so powerful that only a handful of multi-millions recognize such a father. The father fully, sir. You should engage yourselves in doing the Father's service with so much honesty. The Father says the same thing happens every cycle. So this is why you go to Madhavan, you get charged, you get empowered, you get uplifted. But then when you come back, you're back in the same drama physically. You have the same scenario around you because your karmas lie in that. So, okay, great. You've had insights, you have realizations, whatever. But now you have to deal with life, body conscious life. And you'll be presented with all kinds of tests where you will, again, just like before you go to Madhavan, have to choose between soul, Baba, knowledge, and body consciousness, weakness is Maya. And that's ongoing, right? So you constantly have to deal with that. That's how you overcome matter, the body. Because they're not completely faithful and obedient, the status of those poor ones becomes like that. They say, Baba, I will study Raj Yoga and become Narayan from an ordinary man or Lakshmi from an ordinary woman. I will not become Ram or Sita. Now, Ram and Sita is second class, right? They can raise their hands. However, despite that, some activity to match that is also required, not just saying it. The unlimited Father has come to give you your inheritance. You should follow his Srimad. So he's telling you clearly, because again, only BKs are listening to it. Baba clearly knows that a lot of his children say, yes, Baba, put up their hands, say, yes, I'm going to do it, and they don't do it. So obviously, then Baba knows his children are dishonest. It's the whole point of the Murli, right? Honesty. You should follow his Srimad. There are many who have taken on oath and that they will not follow Srimad.
Taking on oath with
He's being somewhat facetious. He's saying it's as if many have made a promise not to follow Srimad amongst my children. They're determined not to follow Srimad. Or you can say, oh, that's funny. Yeah. No. All you have to do is show that you repeat any of your vices, and that's like a promise that I'm not going to follow what Baba says. Because the rest of it, which is your self-deception, is good intentions. I intend to. Yeah, but I told you, intend is a lie. Right? So if you don't put a full stop to whatever weakness it is, then you're going to do it again, right? And again, and again, and again. So isn't that like making a promise not to follow Srimad? So such ones who do actually make the promise cannot remain hidden, because they're honest. When it's not in their fortune, they are first slapped by body consciousness and then by lust. If not lust, then there is anger or greed. All of these vices are your enemies. They're your enemies. They're not your family. They're your enemies. Attachment is also such that it totally destroys all truths. Greed is no less. these are very powerful enemies. They would steal something that's only worth a few pennies. Lower, lose all their self-respect for a few pennies, for chump change. That too is greed. A habit of stealing, very deep habit, is very bad. If you continue to commit sin, your conscience will bite. So what status will you receive? So what is stealing? Misusing or using without permission, which is misusing. Right? So you're not doing this whole asking thing as subservience to whoever is running the center or whatever. It's like Islam. You're doing this because you recognize who God is and you submit your will to Baba. That is why you ask, and that's how you become a trustee. I only move if Baba tells me to move. I do that if Baba's okay with that. Right? Now, of course, there's no Brahma Baba for you to directly ask, so you have to ask through yoga. And if you seem to be still making mistakes, that is why you ask your teacher. If you continue to commit sin, your conscience will bite. So what status will you receive? How can we perform such actions after coming into Shiv Baba's sacrificial fire? Of course, many of you, the problem isn't that you don't know what I just explained. The real problem is you already know what you want to do is wrong, but that's why you don't want to ask. Right? Because you don't want to be told, well, that's wrong, you shouldn't do that, stop doing that. Otherwise, you would just ask because your aim is, I want to become pure, not the aim is, I want to become pure, but I also want to do that. Right? So this is why renunciation is limited. Maya makes them perform many wrong actions. No matter how much is explained to them, they do not break their habits. Some are trapped in name and form, very deep habit. Trapped in name and form is the only reason why you would steal. Because of body consciousness, they become trapped in name and form. Baba knows everything about all the centers. What can Baba do? He has to explain. There are so many centers. Baba receives so much news that he is concerned. He hears all the news and he's concerned. That should tell you something. Therefore, he has to explain. And you would say, oh, well, yeah, but that was way back in the 60s. If you have any sense of the quality of Brahmins these days, I would say Baba has more concern than ever, not less. Therefore, he has to explain. Maya is no less, she harasses you a lot. It is said to very good children, to seek a high position, to have the ambition to receive, like as many in their 45 virtues list ambition as a quality, good quality. To seek a high position is to receive a lot of sorrow. Here, there's no question of sorrow. When you seek the high position of becoming Narayan, that can't give you sorrow. But all these temporary statuses, they give you sorrow. You understand that the same thing happened in the previous cycle. After belonging to God, they are caught by Maya and then perform one sinful action or the other. This is why the father says, many children promise Baba, I will definitely follow your Srimat. But they don't follow it. Therefore, just look how small the rosary is. All the rest are subjects. The destination is so high. Cleanliness of the heart is required for this. There's a saying, when there is honesty,
And soul dances.
the heart dances. Very good. When you continue to be honest with the Father, you will definitely dance with Krishna in the Golden Age. The Golden Age dance of Krishna is very well known. They show the Ras Leela dance, the dance of divine activities of Radha and Krishna. Then they show the Ram Leela dance, the divine activities of Ram and Sita. However, the Ras Leela of Radha and Krishna is number one. Why? Because they remained very honest with the Father at this time. Silver Age souls, they tried. Trying is not fully honest. You don't fail at whatever, including Ram and Sita's failing from not becoming Golden Age. You don't fail because you are honest. So If you understand that, then you go and see, well, what caused the failure? Obviously, some weakness, some attitude, some state of consciousness. And I don't think very many Brahmins ask, especially nowadays, ask that question. Because, Baba says, because they remain very honest with the Father at this time, that's why they became Radha Krishna. Therefore, they claim such a high status. Many children raise their hands. However, what is Maya like? You have to fulfill the promise you make to chase away all the evil spirits of Maya. After you become body conscious, all the other evil spirits,
Oh.
as soon as you become body conscious, automatically all of the other evil spirits, vices,
Enter.
also cling to you. Baba says, become soul conscious and remember the Father. So just walking around in body consciousness, you are a magnet for vices. In that too, sit and talk to Baba clearly early in the morning. Praise Baba. So you can praise Baba. Why?
Baba doesn't get affected by you.
Baba doesn't get affected by your praise, and Baba's not going to give you more or less whether you praise him or not. On the path of devotion, although they remember many, there is no real praise of anyone on the path of devotion. They remember Krishna, sing his praise, and they say he stole the butter, he abducted women. So on one hand, they praise him, and then on the other hand, they defame him. And that he killed the demons, Akasur and Bakasur. That he did this and he did that. What else do they say? All those are lies. And so that's kind of funny. What else do they say? So I don't even remember them. They're all lies. So why you talk about it? Right? Because there's still Brahmins who have that in their consciousness still. Otherwise, no point to say that. There isn't an ounce of truth in them. So how could he show you the path? They don't know about mukti at all at this time. And that's what in bhakti, they're totally concerned with getting mukti, moksha, mukti, both. At this time, there's the kingdom of Ravana of the whole world. Everyone is impure at this time. Human beings don't even understand the meaning of the word corrupt. They don't even understand that in the golden age, they were viceless deities. They sing, you are full of all virtues, 16 celestial degrees full. In spite of that, they say that Ravan, Kans, Jarasandha also exist there. How could such devils exist in the golden age? If such devils existed in golden age, all the deities would be corrupt. When they are told to remain pure, they reply that the deities still had children. Oh, but you sing, you are full of all virtues, completely viceless. So how can there be any question of vice? So until Baba says so, I tell you, I presume I'm still impure. Right? The day Baba says you are 16 celestial degrees complete, perfect full, I'll say Hanji Baba. Until then, I'll presume it's not true. And I keep working on it. So if, to me, that's a protection, because then you don't have the blind spot that you're always right. You check first. You measure it against Gyan, what Baba says, against your yoga experiences. And then you decide whether this is right or this is right. Right? The place where you get into problems in your effort making or relationship is when people assume things without supporting it with knowledge. That's what happens when you praise. You can dislike the vice or weakness in somebody without disliking them. I don't know if you guys have this experience, but it's quite possible. So that's how, when you get detached, you can do that. But for that, you have to stop wanting from these people. How can you stop wanting from these people if you're praising? Because the fact that you're praising him is a sign that you still want from them. You were full of all virtues, completely vices. How can there be any question of vice? You're full of all virtues. So that's how I interpret it in terms of unadulterated worship is Shiva Bhakti, right? You're full of all virtues, completely vices. So how can there be any question of vice? When you tell them to become viceless, they reply, how could the world population grow? How would children be born? We sing praise at the temples, and when they go back home, they even forget that praise. Go and see this for yourselves. When you go to explain at their homes, they do not listen to you. Whatever they have heard at the exhibitions was left there. They didn't retain it. Tell them to become pure, and they will reply, wonderful. But how can the world continue without vice, without lust? They don't even understand how the viceless world functions. it's such a misrepresentation. Yes, you're having sex because you want to populate the world. You just count the number of people who have sex and how much they have children, right? Why do you invent birth control if that's your main method? I want to go have kids. Okay, go have kids. That's not why you invent birth control, because you don't want to have kids, but you want to have sex. That's why you invent birth control. They don't even understand how the viceless world functions. Your children heard the song, and you also promised, Coleman, I will follow your Srimad. Because there is benefit in following Srimad. The Father says, follow Srimad. Otherwise, death will come. Then everything will have to be revealed at the tribunal. You committed these sins, and you'll be shown them. You followed your own manmat, and there is this stain every cycle. It will repeat every cycle. It isn't that if you fail once, then you can study again, second, third year, next cycle. It's now or never. That's the power of the cycle. No, if you fall now, if you fail now, you will fail every cycle. This is why you must make a lot of effort. A lot of effort is not trying. A lot of effort is ceasing and desisting, destroying vices and emerging purity. Let there be nothing dirty within you. Make your heart pure and clean. Nard was told to look at his face in the mirror, the face of a monkey. He then saw he was like a monkey. That too is just an example. Ask yourself, to what extent do I follow Srimad? Is my intellect yoga wandering outside? I am not body conscious, am I? Everything depends on yoga. The yoga of Bard is very well known. The incorporeal father only explains to the incorporeal children. This is called Easy Raj Yoga. It is written that the incorporeal father taught Easy Raj Yoga. It is just that they inserted Krishna's name. You know that you have to become like Lakshmi and Narayan. You have to become pure and charitable souls. There's no question of sin. Stay in remembrance of the Father and engage yourself in doing his service. If you want to claim high status, you'll make effort, will you not? Sannyasis say that it's impossible to live at home with your family and remain as pure as a lotus. Many children fail to become perfect because they're unable to stay in remembrance. The Father is now teaching you ancient yoga, so you can't become perfect without perfecting your remembrance. And there's a lot of detail. Remembrance is so subtle, right? The Father is now teaching you ancient yoga. The Father says, I come and teach you yoga myself, capital N. So now remember me, capital N. You have come to me, capital N. This is the pilgrimage of remembrance. That is your sweet silence home. You residents of Bharat understand that you will go to Bharat and claim your full inheritance. The Father repeatedly explains to you. Fulfill your promise fully. If you make a mistake, ask the Father for forgiveness. Look, this child has especially come to Baba for one day to ask for forgiveness. He made a slight mistake and has therefore come running here. Slight mistake. And he went and asked for forgiveness. What should be your standard? Gross mistakes, I mean, oh my gosh, right? Slight mistake. Because his conscience is biting him. For your conscience to bite you, you have to have the level of purity that allows you to know right from wrong. Grossly, everybody knows what's right and wrong about vices, gross vices. But there are so many more vices that the soul is committing that are much subtler, and there is no awareness that the soul is even sinning because of the effect of the gross vices on his consciousness. He thought he would come personally to Baba and then confess everything to Baba. He has so much regard for the Father. Many children perform much more sinful actions than this, and they're not even aware of it. Father says, wonderful child, you are very good. You made a slight mistake and you came to ask for forgiveness. And maybe he misused something, he got irritated with someone, I don't know. But I'm just simply saying that is like, oh, I asked Baba for forgiveness. You are very good. You made a slight mistake and you came to ask for forgiveness. Baba says, always tell Baba about your mistake and ask for forgiveness. Otherwise, that sin would continue to grow and you would then fall. So if the sin repeats after you've told Baba, then clearly you didn't honestly tell Baba. There wasn't enough remorse or your conscience didn't bite enough that you would stop. So then you're not really being honest with the Father, right? Otherwise, everybody starts treating Baba like a confessional. Oh, I told Baba, I'm forgiven. If you don't change, how can you be forgiven? He has said this in many Murlis. You'll repeat the sin 5,000 years from now. Baba says, always tell Baba about your mistake and ask for forgiveness. Otherwise, that sin would continue to grow and you would then fall. It is only by having yoga, the main thing, that you can be saved. This yoga, this kind of yoga, is greatly lacking. This knowledge is very easy. It's like a story. Whose kingdom was 5,000 years ago, how they ruled it, for how long they ruled it, and how they become trapped in vices whilst ruling the kingdom. No one conquered them. They were conquered later after they became body conscious. That's when they got conquered. When they became merchants, that's when they got conquered. Ravan snatched their kingdom away from them. You are once again conquering Ravan and claiming back your kingdom. Even this hardly sits in anyone's intellect. There are those who are completely faithful and obedient to the Father. On the path of ignorance, too, some are faithful and obedient. Some servants are very trustworthy. Even non-Brahmins, but servants are very trustworthy in a kingdom. Even though there may be hundreds of thousands of rupees lying around, they would not take even 1 rupee. They would say, Master, you left the keys, and so I have carefully brought them back to you. There are still such people. The Father continues to explain to you very clearly. Reason says, because of this, some are unable to become beads of the rosary, this dishonesty sense. Therefore, they go there and become maids and servants because of their dishonesty. They don't tell the truth, they give excuses, they blame others, whatever. Because they don't study, that definitely becomes their condition. They don't follow Srimad. Father explains, your focus is fully on yoga. Maya completely catches hold of you by the nose and doesn't allow you to have yoga. If they had yoga,
Doing a lot of service.
they would do very good service, not just a lot, quality service. There would be the fear of committing sin. This child is very good. If there was honesty, it would be like that. This one's status is higher than that of even some good children. Those who do service are trapped somewhere or the other. They don't tell Baba anything. Okay, so fear of committing sin is still body conscious. But better you have fear of sinning than to sin. Ideally, the true stage is embodiment of virtues, no question of being fearful or sinning. But until you get there, at least be afraid of sinning. Be afraid of disappointing Baba, of having to lie to Baba. You should be afraid to do that until you can find the self-respect to realize you just can be trusted not to do that. Those who do service are trapped somewhere or the other. They don't tell Baba anything. Even when they're asked to leave what they are trapped in, renounce it, they don't do so. In the song, they promise, no matter what happens, I will never make such a mistake again. The main thing is body consciousness and repeating mistakes because of body consciousness. Because of body consciousness that you make mistakes, and obviously more body consciousness as you repeat them. Many make mistakes, and this is why you are cautioned. The Father's duty is to explain to you. If he didn't explain, you would say, but no one told me about this. There's a story based on this. The Father says, children, be cautious. Otherwise, a lot of punishment will have to be experienced. So Baba would rather you be fearful of making a mistake and change, or at least stop you from increasing your sin, than him having to punish you at the end. Okay? Eventually you can trust yourself by following Srimad more and more, and then you'll trust yourself, you get over your fear. But if you just keep doing this, then Baba has to punish you at the end, and he does not want to do this to his children. So therefore you got to stop. Again, I tell you, everything sits on the stage of being able to renounce. Attachment, everything. Don't then say, the time of punishment, why weren't we told about this? Remember, I tell you all this depth of gyan. You can't say in front of Baba you didn't know. You didn't do it, you didn't do it. But at least then you have to just face Baba. Father explains everything you do very clearly. When you commit even a slight sin, that increases a great deal, and you then aren't able to raise your head in front of the Father. Instead of telling lies, confess and ask for forgiveness. Instead of lying, confess, tell the truth, and ask for forgiveness. Better than lying. Don't think that Shiv Baba can't see you. Big brother's watching. Big father is watching. And big brother, Brahma. He knows everything on the path of ignorance too, for that is how he gives a return of sin and charity. He tells you very clearly, if you commit sin, there'll be very severe punishment for you. You have come here to claim your inheritance from the Father. Let it not be that you cut both your ears off instead, as if you can't hear Srimad. Don't cut off your ears. They say one thing and remember someone else. Yes, only you, Baba, you and none other, and then they go and remember someone else. What would be the condition of those who don't remember the Father? As he said in the Murli, who make a promise not to follow Srimad. It's as if they promise not to remember Baba. They're determined not to remember Baba. To eat pure food, to speak the truth, to wear simple clothes, all refers to this time, since the Father has come and is teaching you, you should remain honest with him in every respect. Acha. So such honest, faithful, and obedient children love, remember, and say good morning from the mother, father, Baptara. The spiritual father says namaste to you spiritual children. And
spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father.
essence for Dharma. Number 1, engage yourself in doing the Father's service with
A lot of love. Honest heart.
honesty. Remain completely honest and faithful. Have true love for God's family. If you have true love for them, then you think about them, you help, you do whatever, right? 2, don't mix the dictates of your own mind, Manmat, or the Ravanmat with Srimad. Make your guarantee of belonging to the one Father and none other firm. Make it firm, Pakka. Keep your heart pure and clean. If you belong to someone else, attachment, then your heart isn't totally pure and not totally clean. These are all Srimads. The sign of your impurity is wanting or being afraid. Either one, they're all signs of impurity. Blessing. May you be a world benefactor and give everyone God's message with the fragrance of your spirituality. May you be a world benefactor, give everyone God's message with the fragrance of your spirituality. Imbibe all the powers of spirituality, and your fragrance of spirituality will easily attract all souls to you. Since you are able to make Tamo Pradhan matter Sato Pradhan with the power of your mind, then use the power of your spirituality to be able to give, even from a distance, the Father's main message to souls who are not able to come in front of you. So, Mansa Seva. That was yesterday. Very few do Mansa Seva. When you speed up this subtle machinery, many desperate souls will receive a drop of something, and you will be called a world benefactor. Slogan: let pure and elevated thoughts emerge in yourself, and any waste will automatically become merged. Om Shanti. Now repeat, let pure and elevated thoughts emerge in yourself, and any waste will automatically become merged. So if you're having lots of waste and negative thinking, you have to just concentrate on creating pure thoughts. Full stop, create a new thought. Full stop, create a new thought, right? It's exercise. That's how you make your intellect stronger. Avyat signal. Whenever any adverse situation comes in front of you, make the Father your companion, capital C, and you will experience not being alone, but that some special power is with you. Not just, oh, remember Baba, remember. Actually feel Baba's with you. And that become your experience. No matter how many storms come, those storms become a lift when the Father is present with you. They're a gift of a lift when you have Baba's company. Otherwise, they're a test, an obstacle, a problem. Become a victorious soul and celebrate the year of victory with the awareness of the title. Those whose intellects have faith are
Victorious.
victorious. Don't make it just a slogan. Actually experience being victorious.